Previously, on the Nick Wright YouTube channel near you, you saw Kyle Hunt and I begin our upper body workout, but we only showed you the bench press portion of it, and it went amazingly. I hit an all-time personal record of 355 pounds, paused. Not to be confused with regular touch-and-go reps where you simply tap your chest and push right back up. Those are a lot easier. I have maxed out 365 pounds that way, and I might even be good for more nowadays. I haven't tried it. But as far as pause reps go, my all-time best ever was 340 pounds back when I trained with Christian Guzman, and that was at 190 pounds body weight. So now I'm 10 pounds lighter, and I added on 15 pounds to that. My all-time best at this body weight was only about 330, 335 pounds. So 25 pound PR at this body weight, 15 pound PR all time. Very proud of it. Kyle Hunt then proceeded to bang out a 365 pound pause rep at only 160 pounds body weight, making it almost 2.5 times his body weight. And he's done a lot more than that on his channel. We then threw on the slingshot and did some overload work. As you saw, it went amazingly. But after that, we proceeded to do more accessory stuff that is great for not only powerlifters, but bodybuilders. We did stuff that's great for size and mass. So enjoy the rest of our upper body workout.
Why do you like cable tricep pushdowns?
Well, a lot of people kind of discard the movement because it's a cable exercise. But one, it's the one tricep exercise that doesn't bang up your shoulders. It's not really hard on your elbows. So you can do it with quite a bit of volume, quite a bit of frequency, more so than like a skull crusher or even like a co-script bench, for example. It's something you can do every upper body day, and it's not going to bang you up too much. That's my favorite reason.
Which one's your favorite handle to use? Because you have the V handle, the straight handle, the rope.
Probably the rope is my favorite. However, like I was talking to Nick, I find myself using rope a lot, so
same.
Change it up today.
I feel like the rope really hits all three heads of the tricep.
Yeah, I think so too.
Equally.
Yeah, I think so.
Versus like a straight handle when you're more of this position, it might do a little more outer tricep focus.
Yeah, a little bit more outside. Tricep, yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, your accessory work can take away from your primary work, and that's not good.
You never want that to happen. So I like to pick accessory movements that don't take away from the main movements.
Yep. I like how this gym actually has a curl rack.
I know.
Only at Ocean State Health and Fitness. So obviously, the stronger your biceps, the better they're gonna hold up for like deadlifts and stuff without risk of injury. Obviously, just to keep your arms straight regardless. But how else would you say bicep work helps with strength at all? Because it's in every program.
Yeah, I mean, it's in every program. Well, biceps work a little bit on any pulling exercise. So even a deadlift, they're gonna engage a little bit. But I would say probably the biggest carryover to a powerlifter would actually be bicep size when you're bench pressing. It's almost like more cushion in that joint angle.
Yeah.
The bigger your biceps are, it's gonna be.
That's what Eric Spoto said, yeah.
It's almost like knee sleeves when you're squatting, because it just creates more, more surface area. So when you're squatting, like the knee sleeve is gonna hit before your actual hamstring is gonna hit your calf. Same idea when you're benching with bigger biceps.
Do you think? So somebody naturally has like decent arms, and of course you have people like Josh Hancock benching, almost 400 pounds, and his arms aren't super big. So obviously, like, you don't need to build big biceps to do powerlifting.
Aren't that big
do you think there's any other benefit? Like, would you say powerlifter has to do them?
I wouldn't say has to. I definitely wouldn't say has to. But I mean, having strong biceps is just good for overall health too. I mean, doing any type of movement, like I said, any type of pulling movement, when you're working your lats, they're going to be engaged. But that could also be a reason why you don't necessarily have to do direct bicep training as well. Yeah. that looked fun.
Yeah. So pull downs are obviously amazing. Pull downs, pull ups, whichever way you want to do it. Make sure, a lot of people like to grab it wide, super wide, keep the elbows back. Actually, getting your elbows a little more forward, it's going to activate your back a lot better. And even having your grip just a little more in, so you can kind of tuck your elbows, almost how you would on a bench almost.
Yeah, the same type of elbow positioning.
Yeah, so that super wide grip though, it's harder, and people do it because it's harder, so they think because it's harder it's getting a better workout. That's actually gonna really just work your teres only, and not really get a lot of activation or anything else in there.
Yeah, I tend to go like pretty like moderate grip too. Like it's like an old myth, like the grip wide because it'll grow your lats. Why that's not true at all.
Yeah, you'd say almost like a bench grip.
Pretty much, yeah.
Almost like a bench grip. Again, driving your elbows down, almost like you're trying to elbow a midget that's holding on to you.
And that elbow position forward is going to save your shoulders. A lot of people get shoulder issues from doing like heavy pull-ups, like weighted pull-ups, because they flare their elbows really wide.
So a lot of the same principles that apply to a bench apply to a pull-up.
Well, think about it. It's really, I mean, any type of movement, it's the same shoulder movement, really.
And if you get into the biomechanics of it, like adduction and everything of the arms and whatnot, doesn't technically the arms above you motion work more of your teres and such than actual lats? So like if you want to really target lats, actually doing something that's in front of you, like a rowing motion in front of you, that's probably better for your lats specifically, right?
Yeah, for pure lat activation,
yeah. But yeah, pull-ups, pull-downs, definitely amazing to do regardless. So we're moving on to rear delts. I personally like doing rear delts first before side delts because they're usually a weak spot for everybody, and they're definitely a weak spot for me. So I like getting to them fresh and hammering them out, and then go to my side delts, which are a little bit more developed, and hit them when I'm a little more exhausted. Kyle, you're having us do face pulls, which I've shown you guys a million times in videos. We're having us doing them on the floor now.
Yeah,
why is that?
For two reasons. One, the pure aesthetics of it, the feeling, you feel a little bit different. And two, just from a standpoint of when you're standing, you almost need to brace your core when you go heavy. It wants to pull you forward. But when you're sitting down, the angle of it, it kind of takes the core strength out of it. So you can just focus on pulling in and using a little bit more weight for your rear delts.
Nice. And you can do these with a seat, right?
Yeah, you can also sit down.
So you can put a seat backwards.
Like a shoulder press, bench, or just like a flat bench and just sit it sideways. And
yeah, and then so you can put your chest up against it and that'll
you can do that as well too. Yep.
Cool. Dumbbell lateral raise. So real quick, there's different techniques and different ways to do this. Some people use a really bent elbow style. Some people, I mean in general, I like to say supinate your pinky up towards the ceiling and raise with the elbows, not your hands.
Try to have the elbows lead the range of motion as opposed to hands leading.
So you don't want your hands to be higher than your elbows. Eyeballs should be above your hands and pinkies to the ceiling, right?
Yep.
How much should you bend your elbows? Because some people bend it.
You see some people do it like really bent, but then the problem is you get the weight distribution's way out in front, so then you almost get like a front delt activation as well. So I like to keep the bend to allow the weight to be in line with your body.
Right. I guess that would partly depend on just the length and structure of your arms and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So play with it. Some people need it more outright. Some people need it really bent. Whatever one feels good for you and you feel it activating your delts, that's the one to go with, right?
I think at the end of the day, it's not going to be something to really stress about too much.
See, I'm someone who actually started off doing, real long extended arms.
Yep.
But I have long arms.
Yeah, so
in proportion to my limbs, so I've found recently kind of bringing them in actually helps me feel a lot more in my delts.
Yeah. For the final movement, that's going to tie in your lats, your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, pretty much your upper body squat, the muscle up. My head's gonna fly off. There it is.
That's a lot of technique too, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you gotta have a little bit of a kip. I mean, I can do them strict too, but it's better to have a little bit of kip in it. So it's more technique than anything. It looks really impressive.